Chantel here with Lovin' Life's Journey DIY. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know about where you live, but here in southern Idaho, it is going to be hot today. It's supposed to get up to 107. That's just way too much. But I am headed indoors because I thought since it's July, it would be fun to do some Christmas in July projects. And so I'm going to go into Dollar Tree and see what kind of just everyday items that we can find that we can make Christmas DIYs with. So these are items that are not Christmas themed at all, that you should be able to get all year long and make them into DIYs for Christmas. So let's go get out of this heat and see what we can find.
So we are going to head into Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be looking for just everyday items that Dollar Tree carries all year long that we can transform into some Christmas DIYs. The first thing that caught my eye is this wood plaque that says peace on it. And they also have these other little wood pieces that say peace on them. So those could easily be turned into something for Christmas. Also, I saw this star on the dowel, and this gave me an idea for a DIY that I'm going to show you here in a minute. This 2-pack of 1/2-inch diameter wood dowels caught my eye. I think that is a new item. I also noticed they have these wood ornaments. There's 3 wood slices in there that you could do all kinds of things to make your own ornaments. There's also this wood cutout star that's a nice big size. That could be made into a Christmas decoration. And these laser cut shapes would be great for making some small little ornaments, and they carry all kinds of different styles of these. Another new item that caught my eye are these beaded lanyards. These would be great for Christmas DIYs and using them as a little garland. I'm actually going to use those in my first DIY along with these little orange safety cones that come in a 2-pack from Dollar Tree. I will also be using 3 of these styrofoam cones from Dollar Tree. And I did get 2 of those wood bead lanyards. I think these are going to be the perfect addition to this project. So if you hadn't guessed yet, I am going to be making a Christmas tree, and for the base of my tree, I am going to use a small wood container, either like this little box or this wooden pencil holder. One of those I think is going to work fine for that. I was going to pick up some yarn at Dollar Tree, but my store did not have any shades of green. So I went to Walmart and I found this variegated chenille yarn that is going to be perfect. And this huge skein was less than $8. I'm going to be using this star on the dowel. This is what gave me the idea for this project. So I'm going to start by taking one of my safety cones, and I'm going to use my razor knife just to cut off that flat bottom part of the cone. And this was pretty easy. The plastic's not super thick, so just a few times around and it cut right through this. And I just took a little bit of sandpaper to get off any rough edges. And then I'm going to use a drill to drill a hole in the top of my cone so that I can put that dowel that the star is on right down through that. And I didn't have a big enough drill bit, so I just kind of reamed it out a little bit and used my razor knife to cut some slits in there just so that that would go in. Then I'm going to take my styrofoam cone, and this fits into the safety cone perfectly. I'm going to glue it to the top and the skinniest part of the cone, and this is going to give me a place to put that dowel down into. Next, I'm going to take some of this really pretty champagne gold acrylic paint, and I'm going to paint the star on both sides and on the edges. To make sure that that bright orange color on that cone didn't show through, I did spray paint mine using just a brown paint that I had. Now I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to use that chenille yarn and I'm just going to start gluing it around, starting at the top, and I'm making sure I don't get any hot glue into the hole where I'm going to be pushing my star down into. But then I'm going to just uh, s- wrap this whole cone using this yarn. And I only had to put some hot glue at the top and then a little bit in the middle and then again at the bottom. So it really wrapped pretty quickly. I did secure the yarn along the bottom edge using my hot glue. And then once that was secure, I started wrapping back up the cone in several different directions just to give this a little more interest. I thought this would really just make it a little bit more unique. And then once I was happy with how it looked, I just secured the end kind of in an inconspicuous place and cut off my excess yarn. I'm going to use my miter box and saw to cut off the dowel on the star because I only need probably 3 inches of the dowel below the star. And so I'm just going to cut that off. And then I'm just going to push that down into the hole in the top of my tree. And then I'm going to add my base. I decided to use this natural wood pencil holder. I like the finish of it, and I'm not going to paint it or anything because the natural wood really goes nicely with the natural wood beads, and I think it all coordinates really well. Not to mention that the diameter of this pencil holder is the perfect size to glue right onto that styrofoam cone inside my tree. Now I'm going to take my lanyards and I'm going to remove the little tassel from the end and I'll save those for another project. Then I'll use the little clip and just clip it onto the yarn right at the base of the star on the back of the tree and then drape it around the tree like a garland. And I'll do this with both lanyards and just wrap them around, spacing them till they look nice. And then I'll tack them down with a little bit of hot glue in several different places to secure it. So the wood star actually gave me my inspiration for this project, but once it was finished, I sort of felt like the star was just too large. Let me know what you think, but I decided to go back to Dollar Tree and see if I could find something that was a little bit smaller of a star. I did find these styrofoam stars in the leftover graduation items, and then I also found these LED tea light candles. Um, and I decided to grab those and then I'm going to actually remove the candle part. I'm going to leave the light, but I'm going to take that little candle part off. So you just open it up with a little screwdriver and then use some needle nose pliers to kind of pinch the ends together and pop that out. And then put the back on with the light back onto the star. And now it looks more like just a little light instead of a candle. I am not going to do anything else with this star because I think the gold finish on it actually goes really well with that lanyard that I used for the garland in my tree. And since I didn't glue the wood star on, I can just pull it out. And I am going to add a little bit of extra yarn to the very top just to cover up that cone and build it up just a little bit because I think that looks better under the smaller star. And then I'll just use my hot glue and glue the star right on top. So let me know in the comments what you think. Do you like this new little tea light star? Did you like the oversized wood star? Or would you do something different? I am going to use my other two styrofoam cones to make some additional trees to go along with this bigger one. I have tons of yarn left, and I'm also going to use one of these little wooden candlesticks that I had previously used in a project. I got these at Hobby Lobby, and so I'm going to hot glue one of these candlesticks to the bottom of one of the styrofoam cones. And then I'm just going to start wrapping my yarn around this tree. I'm going to start on the bottom at the base of that candlestick and use my hot glue to cover the bottom of the tree. And you do have to put glue pretty much on the whole part of this, just this bottom part. But once you get to the cone, you can just start wrapping it and only put glue in a couple of places as you go along. I'm going to build up the top of the cone a little bit because it has the flat surface on the top. I want to make it a little more pointy, so I'm just going to use my yarn and build that up and, and secure it with some glue. And then I thought it would be cute to add a little accent to the top. I'm just going to take a little square natural wood bead and thread my yarn through the hole. I'll tie a knot on the one side just so it has a knot on the top instead of the hole showing. And then trim off the bottom yarn and glue it so it doesn't come out. And then I'll just glue that to the top of my tree. For my third little tree, I'm not going to put a base on it, so I did paint the bottom of the cone with some gold paint, and then I'm just wrapping my yarn around this cone like I did on the others. And then on my second tree, I stopped with just wrapping the yarn one time around the tree. So I had the horizontal lines on the tree. But this one, I decided to go ahead and take my yarn and wrap it kind of randomly at different angles around the tree, like I did on the very first one. So it just gives it a little bit more variety and interest. And then for this tree on the top, I decided to use just a round wood bead and put some yarn through it. And I'm just going to uh, glue off the ends of the yarn. So it's just kind of wrapping around the bead and then glue that to the top of the tree. And I love how this set came out. I am amazed that it started with a little bright orange safety cone and that wooden star, and I ended up with this beautiful set of three trees. For this project, I am going to be using this mirror from Dollar Tree. I'm also going to be using some wood beads. You can pick these up at Dollar Tree or any craft store. And then I'm going to be using some greenery. Now you can choose greenery from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use this boxwood greenery that I had from Walmart, but it doesn't have to be like pine or a specific Christmas greenery. I'll also be using some red acrylic paint. I'm going to use 12 of the wood beads and I'm going to place them into a plastic baggie, and then I'm going to add a few drops of my red paint and just a little bit of water. And then I'm just going to squish these all around after I zip the baggie up, of course. I'm going to squish them all around and spread that paint all over the beads. I think this is the quickest and least messy way to paint these wood beads. I put them on a paper towel to dry, and then I take a brush and a little bit of paint and just kind of touch up anywhere that I see they might need some more. And it just is a really quick way to take care of those, especially if you have a lot of beads that you're painting for a project. After I clean my mirror, I'm going to take my greenery and I'm going to use some wire cutters and just snip apart all of the little stems. Then I'm going to start just pushing them into that first row closest to the mirror. Um, just putting the stems through those rows and filling it up all the way around. Then I'll turn this over and I'm going to start securing those stems to the back of the mirror. So I'm going to use my hot glue gun and just push those stems into the grooves in the back of the mirror. Add a good amount of hot glue and just hold it till it's set up. This worked really well because the stems were inside the grooves and because the mirror is curved a little bit, it still set really nicely on my table. Then I just took a few more stems and put them in wherever I saw that it needed a little bit more fullness. Then I'm going to take my little red beads I painted and use some hot glue and just attach them randomly around the wreath. And you could hang this on the wall and it would be really pretty, but you can also use it as a candle holder. And so you can just get like a vase from Dollar Tree and add an LED candle or a real candle to this. And I think this is beautiful. And if you put different colored berries or some flowers in it, you could use it all year round as well. Another item you can pick up at Dollar Tree to do some DIYs for all kinds of projects, but even for Christmas, are hardback books. And if you look for ones that have nice colors on the cover underneath the dust jacket, then you can find some that will coordinate well and work well for whatever type of project that you are wanting to do. These are the two books I picked up for my next project. One has a nice, pretty red cover, and the other one is just a white cover. And I am going to be adding a little bit of embellishment to these. I'm also going to be using some wide black and white buffalo check ribbon. This is some I had on hand already, but I have seen it just recently at Dollar Tree as well. I'm also going to be using some greenery. This is just some that I had on hand. I picked this up at Walmart. It's something they carry, I think, all the time. You can use any greenery that you have on hand. And I'm going to be using some of this red berry garland. This is in the fall section at Dollar Tree right now, but it's perfect for Christmas because it has the red berries. And I'll also be using some coordinating paints to go with my books. After I remove the dust jackets, I am going to use a ruler and I'm going to draw a line, just the width of that ruler from the binding over on both the front and the back side of the book. And I'm going to be painting this section and the spine of the book a different color. This will just make it a little bit more interesting than just being one color. And this is also how I'm going to cover up those titles of the book because they don't really make any sense for Christmas decor. And I used the red paint on the white book, but I decided not to use white on the red book. I went with black instead, just to switch it up. I thought this would go really well with the black and white buffalo check ribbon. I cut a piece of my ribbon long enough to go around the book, and I am not just going to wrap it around, I am actually going to glue it to the inside of the cover and just wrap it around the cover. I thought this made it look more like it was part of the book instead of just wrapped around the book. And I decided to put the same ribbon on both books. The only difference was I positioned it a little bit different. On this book, I put it a little more toward the top of the book, and on the red book, I put it in the center. Next, I'm going to take just a little piece of my greenery and make a little embellishment for the top of my book. I'm using some of that red berry garland and just twisting it around and adding it to the greenery. And then I'm going to take a little bit of jute twine and just wrap that around the top. So I'm making a little bunch. It kind of reminds me of mistletoe a little bit, even though I know the greenery is different than mistletoe, but it kind of gives me those vibes. So I'm just wrapping that jute twine, tying a little bow, and then I'm going to glue that to the center of that ribbon on that white book. And then I'm going to stack my two books together, and it makes just a really simple decoration for Christmas. And honestly, you could use this all year long as well. As I mentioned earlier, these laser cut shapes would make great little ornament sets. And for $1.25, you get 6 of them in a package. And Dollar Tree has all kinds of styles and shapes and designs, and some of them are even colored. So this would be a great gift for like coworkers or teachers. And they are super quick and easy to make. All you need is some twine or string to make the hangers, and I'm going to use a little basket to put mine in, along with some of this little decorative shred from the party section at Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to be using a little bit of this champagne gold paint to paint my stars. What I really like about these is there are 3 different designs in each package, but they all are kind of coordinating. They kind of go together with a specific theme. The stars are perfect for Christmas, but if you have somebody who likes marine life or flowers or um, different kinds of animals. They have all those designs, and you could make a little set of ornaments, and it would be a perfect little gift. I'm just using my champagne gold paint to paint my little ornaments, and then I'm going to add a little jute twine hanger. And that is all there is to it. Super easy peasy, and it makes such a cute gift. And then you just add them to a little gift basket. You could even include these with something else, like if you wanted to add a little candle or some chocolates or something, but it's just a quick and easy gift to put together and it won't cost you a lot of money. I also picked up some of these wood ornaments, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you could decorate them that will be quick and easy and also make a good gift. I'm going to be using some jute twine for my hangers, and I'm also going to be using some little rocks. You can just get some out of your driveway or yard, or you can pick up some of the packages of rocks at Dollar Tree. I'll also be using a little bit of white craft paint. And I am going to take a little bit of sandpaper and just go over my ornament on the front and the back just to smooth it out a little bit. So, just this week, I had some friends who lost their sweet little kitty after having her for 16 years, and they collect ornaments. And so I decided I was going to make them an ornament to remember Missy. So, I've printed out a picture of her, and I am going to Mod Podge this onto one side of this ornament. I'm going to use a generous layer of Mod Podge, but I am going to make sure that it's all smoothed out without any blobs of the Mod Podge to cause any wrinkles or bubbles. Then I'm going to place the picture down, and I am going to let this dry before I put a coat of Mod Podge over the top. I am going to use a stylus just to poke through the paper where the hanger needs to go, though. I'm going to do something a little bit different on the other side. So I am dry brushing some of that white paint on the other side of the ornament just because I want to lighten up the color a little bit. I still want the wood grain to show through though, so I'm not going to paint it. Then I'm writing Missy Girl on the ornament because that's what they call her often. And I am going to use a really fine paintbrush to uh, paint the words on. If you don't feel confident in doing this, then you could certainly use a Sharpie marker or something to write on your ornament. I picked out some stones that I thought would work well to make a little cat, and this is supposed to be the back of the cat. So I'm going to glue those to the ornament, and then I'm going to use a little piece of jute twine to make the tail. And I thought it would be cute to give it a little twist, just to give it a little more dimension and movement. And then I am going to paint some whiskers using some brown paint and my little fine paintbrush. And this is just going to give it that little extra detail. And then I'm going to finish it off with just a little red heart. To complete the ornament, I'm going to put a layer of Mod Podge over the top of that picture that I decoupaged on the ornament just to protect it and help it to stay on. And then I'm going to add a jute twine hanger so that this can be hung up. Personalized handmade ornaments like this one are such a great gift because it's something that people see year after year and it brings back memories. And so it doesn't take a lot of time to make, but it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. I hope this video has inspired you to get a jump on the holidays by starting on these Christmas DIYs with items that you can get now at Dollar Tree and Walmart. If you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps me out. Also, be sure to hit that bell and set your notifications so that YouTube will notify you every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day.